following is a paid program. The opinions expressed are not necessarily those of WNBU and Interbanks Media. Welcome to All Things Money with David Blain, a thoughtful and revealing discussion of actionable ideas and effective strategies to help you through the complex world of investing, taxes, and real estate. Now, with All Things Money, here's David Blain.
Hello and welcome to All Things Money. I'm your host, David Blain. Thank you for joining us today for our show. I think today we're going to continue talking a little bit about luck versus skill in investing. But before we do, let's give out the contact information for our viewers and listeners out there on 94.1 FM WNBU, cable TV 10 in New Bern, or maybe you're streaming us from our website, www.dlblain.com. We welcome all of you. If you do have any comments or questions for me, for the show, our phone number is 252-633-0107. Of course, you can email us here direct at the show, allthingsmoney@dlblain.com. And you can go over to the website, dlblain.com, and hit the big Contact Us button, and we'd love to hear from you. So last week, we spent the whole show talking about this concept of luck versus skill in investing, and I think it's a very important concept when it comes to investing. I think it's something that the Wall Street machine has spent a tremendous amount of money and effort convincing people, well, if I just, subscribe to that newsletter, or if I just subscribe to that research, or if I just read this magazine, or just read this article in the paper, or just watch this TV show, that all of a sudden, I'm going to be successful at investing. And the reality is, even people that don't necessarily get caught up in a lot of the media hype, they pick a stock, maybe where they work or something like that. They tend to attribute that success, if they have it, to skill. But if it doesn't work out, of course, it was bad luck. It was never bad skill. So we started talking about, in life in general, you have this sort of continuum of things that are mostly luck. For example, playing at the roulette wheel or blackjack. I mean, those are pure games of chance. Rolling a dice, assuming it's a fair dice. These are pure games of chance. And over on the other end of things, you have things like chess. You have a lot of individual sports, skills at playing of instruments. Someone that can pick up a violin and play a harmonious song very well. That's not luck that they picked it up and happened to hit the right strings at the right time on key. That's a skill. Whereas someone going to the roulette wheel, and winning a big jackpot, to say that was some sort of skill, or even lottery. I've seen, there are all these systems for playing the lottery and different ideas of how to play the lottery. And it's a pure game of luck. There's no skill involved. Now, I will say that there are things such as the Kelly rule in betting. How much should you bet in certain things that enable someone to possibly play the game longer, avoid ruin, things like that. That's sort of a side, bet. Money management, how do you manage your money and betting and things like that. That's sort of a sub-science, but the game itself is pure luck. And investing, believe it or not, falls way over on the luck side of the continuum. A lot of the elements of investing are luck. And I outlined something that, a couple of things to think about. If you're trying to determine, is this luck or skill, ask yourself, can I lose on purpose? Can I, like the violin, can I make just an awful sound on purpose? Well, sure, it's pretty easy to do. Just my kids play violin, and just ask me, because I pick that thing up and I can't make it sound very good at all. So ask yourself, is this something that I can lose on purpose? Can you play roulette and lose on purpose? And I don't mean, play the thing right. And investing, it's very difficult to beat the market, so to speak. It's also very difficult to do significantly worse than the market as long as you follow certain, parameters. And by that, I basically mean, picking a random number of 100 stocks out of, say, the 500 in the S&P. It would be very difficult to do much worse than the market itself. And so that's something that you should ask yourself, whether it's luck or skill. There's so many things out of the investor's control that leads it to be an element of luck. So we talked about that. If you missed that I don't want to repeat the entire show here today, but so when you're looking at things that are largely luck or have a large luck component, you want to focus on your processes. Look at some behavioral biases that you may have and try to eliminate those. For people that work in an organization, you want to try to minimize the organizational biases you have and make sure that your process is analytical and follows a certain procedure. People that have strategies for investing, that's what I would recommend, is looking at those, analyze them. Is it something that worked in the past? Is there a logical reason for it working? Is there some economic or fundamental reason that this investing strategy should make sense? Apply an analytical model to it. Try to eliminate your behavioral biases, emotions, things like that. Are some things you can look at. But don't get caught up in the certainty of it. Investing is a very difficult task, and it's a very probabilistic type environment. That's what we try to do, is apply the probabilistic nature of investing and get the probabilities working on your side. That's why for most people, a well-positioned, properly diversified portfolio is the way to go. So many people trying to pick individual stocks or some sort of momentum strategy or some sort of timing strategy, it's very, very difficult, and there's a huge element of luck involved in that most people are better served with some sort of a diversified strategy that takes into account longer time frame data and acknowledges the probabilistic nature of investing. One thing that I think too on the corporate earnings side, for people that are out there picking individual stocks, they're always looking at the earnings. Did the earnings go up? Did the earnings go down? Who's the CEO? Who's the CFO? Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or whoever's guiding it, Larry Ellison at Oracle. They got the magic touch and driving the earnings. Even Warren Buffett, looking at these, and so they're analyzing the company based on earnings. Well, what portion of that earnings of the company or that good growth of the company was actually due to something that the company was doing, and what portion was attributable to luck? So not only at the company level do you have those factors, then you layer on the investor level, and a lot of it is due to luck or chance. Well, that's all the time we have for the first segment. When we come back, we'll continue talking about skill versus luck in the investing world.